So what's your plan when you go back to Detroit?
So my plan is normally when you travel somewhere else, when you get back home, you do a report out. So you put it on the calendar, you find a place, and you send out information, and you let people know you're going to do a report out. So what I will say is that I'm doing a report out on the zero waste, on the International Zero Waste Conference that took place in the Philippines. And so people will come so that they can hear and ask questions about the zero waste in the Philippines. So next month will be February, and we will bring our cohort of folks. So we have a zero waste coalition, zero waste Detroit coalition in the city of Detroit. So next month, it's been dormant for some years. So the Zero Waste Detroit Coalition.
Yeah.
So the coalition, as a coalition, hasn't come together in about maybe 4 or 5 years.
And also with the pandemic.
Right, because of the pandemic. So now we will give a report out and ask folks to start coming back and get the coalition up and running.
So when do you plan to do that? This February?
This February. I'm not sure what the date, but I do have a young lady. Her name is Deborah Stewart Anderson. Deborah Stewart Anderson. And if I got her name wrong, she would kill me. She always talk about get the names right. So I'm bad with names, so I really want to make sure that her name is right.
Okay.
And it's Deborah Stewart Anderson.
Okay.
And she's the zero waste person, Zero Waste Detroit person in Detroit, working with that organization. And she also does contamination checks in the city of Detroit. She goes around. I think she's it's called True Advisor. So in the zero waste world, you go through a certification and you get a certification for businesses. So you are able to now go to businesses and talk about zero waste and get them to start recycling. So she does the recycle, I do recycle, but I am going to dive into the recycle of food waste and the diversion of food waste so that we'll have recycling and composting in the city of Detroit.
Okay. So that's February. What about
somewhere
March?
like this. March the 10th. Is it March 30th? March 30th is International Zero Waste Day.
By the United Nations.
By the United Nations. And because they know what they're doing, maybe in the city of Detroit that we can have that day and see how people do. And so what we do, we blast it out and say, hey, March 30th is International.
Let's participate.
Yes. So, and then maybe what we can do is show people, or people can take like pictures and send us of what they did not waste. So say, you send a photo of your food and then you eat all your food and you send a copy of your plate. Yeah. Or you go through your trash or something. And so something to where you can show us that particular day you didn't do any waste.
Yeah. So it's like no waste day.
No waste day.
Zero waste day.
Zero waste day. So that day you don't waste anything.
But that's only one day in a year.
Well, that's only one day in a year. However, so we've been fortunate enough with the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation.
Yes.
So the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, we have a pilot project in the city of Detroit, which is called Detroit Composting for Community Health. And so we have 3 pilots. That's what KT is a part of, I'm a part of, and Renee is also a part of. So it's 3 pilots. And so with the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation funding us, we're closing out our 30 months. Oh, and the partner Mother Foundation, the Mother Earth Foundation.
Yes.
That's how we got connected. So the end of April, the 28th, 29th, and 30th, we're going to close it out. We're going to bring folks in, talk about what we did for the last 30 months, how we collected food waste, what the scale was, what we kept out of the landfill. We're going to have a couple of people come from out of town and talk about their zero waste plan. So after those 3 days, we go into May. May. The second week of May is International Compost Week.
Oh.
So
is that in America?
Yes.
Is there a law? Is it global?
It's global. So for anybody who wants to participate. And so what we do is that there's normally videos that take place between the hours of like 11 and 1. So people in different parts of the city of Detroit video record, or they might have Zoom meetings that week. What we're going to do this year, because it's the second week in May, we're going to take the first through the second week and ask people to collect their scraps, weigh them. We put them all in some places, and then we calculate over the 14 days, what did we keep out of the landfill?
So it's a kind of audit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Community participation.
Yes, that's right. So you're busy in February, March, and April. No,
February,
May.
March, and April. Yes.
All right.
So, and then to the Green Task Force. The Detroit Green Task Force is
the Green Task Force.
Yeah, Detroit Green Task Force. So one of our council members by the name of Ken Cochran started it. So when his term was over, I guess he looked upon the council and he chose Scott Benson, who is still over the Green Task Force. That's who I'm under. So council member Scott Benson is over the Green Task Force. So he's allowed us, oh my God, so thankful for him. He's allowed us to do work within the city and to take it to the next level. So every 2 years we go before city council and present what we've been doing over the last 2 years. And then every 2 years we go somewhere and look at other cities at what they're doing, and then bring it back home and implement some things at home.
So is there a funding for that?
So there's not necessarily funding for the Green Task Force per se, but each committee is allowed to do what they need to do.
So you can do fundraising as well.
We can do fundraising, but it's for our actual projects and for the community. The money doesn't go to the city because the city has their dollars for what they do. So most of the co-chairs from the Green Task Force are very very savvy on how we can get things done without actually pulling money from the city. So what we really try to do is find money so that the city can continue the work that they do, but also expand their services. So like right now, we don't have curbside composting.
Yes.
We have curbside recycling. People are scared of the composting. So what we've been doing over the last 30 months is showing them how we could actually do it in communities. And so hopefully over the next few years, we'll be able to have some compost sites in all the districts, because Detroit is cut up into districts, it's sectors. So we have District 1 through 6, or 1 through 7. We have 1 through 7. And then we have 2 council people that are at large, meaning that they represent the whole districts all across the board.
Okay, so you say goodbye to your followers in social media.
Goodbye, folks.
See you in February, March and April.
Yes.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.